Welcome back to part two on chemicals in your cosmetics with Narelle Chenery. I hope you guys have your pens and notepads ready or your notes on your phone. You're really going to want it. If you haven't listened to part one yet, please go back and listen to that first. And if you have already, then let's get going into the rest of the episode where we're learning why it's so incredibly important to pay as much attention to what we put on our bodies as to what we put in them.
Hello and welcome to the Transformation Project, a podcast and community for women who are looking to transform into the best version of themselves no matter where they are at. A place where you can listen, learn, and laugh along with us as we dive deep into different topics to help you live a happier, healthier, and more fulfilled life. Remember, we are all learning here together, and therefore the content and opinions of the hosts and our guests should not be taken as medical advice. Please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions.
All right, let's get back to nitrosamines. So these things are really nasty. So they accumulate in the liver, the bladder. They lead to chronic toxic health effects. They're absorbed by the skin. They've also been linked to developmental or reproductive toxicity, immunotoxicity, neurotoxicity, which means it's bad for your brain, and systemic toxicity. So the specific nitrosamine to which human exposure is the greatest, since it occurs in cosmetics and is readily absorbed through the skin, they've known this since 1985, right? So they've been the FDA, or actually, sorry, 1979, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, warned or basically told the cosmetic industry they had to take immediate measures to eliminate, to the extent possible, nitrosamine contamination from cosmetic products. So this was a statement from the FDA in 1979. And guess what's happened?
That was just it. It was just a statement and that was it.
Yep, pretty much.
Easy.
Yep. And then again in 1996, the FDA encouraged cosmetic manufacturers to voluntarily remove ingredients that could combine to form nitrosamines, and to conduct testing to understand why cosmetics become contaminated with nitrosamines. And then a 1998 study in the UK, the Department of Trade and Industry, showed that nitrosamine levels in some products actually increase in the months after a product is opened. So what happens with nitrosamines is that nitrosamines are created from two different chemical classes. So nitrosating agents and amines. So nitrosating agents and amines combine together to form nitrosamines. So, and these are, this is this thing where this chemical soup effect is happening in the product. And as the study in the UK found, as it's sitting on your shelf, more nitrosamines are being created when these two chemicals are combining together. So since they're impurities, they don't appear on the label. So what we want to look for is either the nitrosating agents or the amines. Okay, so amines are pretty easy to find. Okay, so these are things that are called monoethanolamine, MEA, DEA or diethanolamine, or TEA, triethanolamine. Okay, so these are the amine part of that chemical soup that creates the nitrosamines. So what we want to look for are things like that have diethanolamine on the label, or they abbreviate it to MEA, DEA, or TEA. And I can guarantee there's going to be something in your bathroom that has one of these ingredients. So these are things like cocamide MEA, cocamide DEA, DEA cetylphosphate, DEA oliphosphate, loramide DEA. So anything with MEA, DEA, or TEA, or even triethanolamine. Triethanolamine, which is the TEA, is often listed as an ingredient by itself, or it could be TEA lauryl sulfate. So basically anything with MEA, DEA, TEA you're looking for, or the triethanolamine or diethanolamine, but it's usually just the triethanolamine that you will find. The MEA and DEA are usually abbreviated to the cocamide DEA or cocamide MEA. So that's how you avoid nitrosamine contamination, which are these chemicals that cause cancer in all 40 animal species that have been tested on. So yeah, definitely a nasty class to look out for. And then we want to look for the antibacterial products. Now, I know some people think antibacterial means good, but in terms of the chemicals that they used to create the antibacterial effect, which is triclosan, that is a definite no-no. So triclosan, we're exposed to it through skin absorption when washing our hands or in the shower, brushing our teeth. There are antibacterial toothpastes with triclosan. There's antibacterial mouthwashes with triclosan. There's antibacterial dishwashing liquids. So the CDC in America, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, actually identified triclosan in the urine of 75% of people tested. So it's ubiquitous in antibacterial products. And it's lipophilic, which means it loves fat. It accumulates in our fatty tissues. And that means that it is going to be passed from our breast milk. Okay, so studies have found concentrations of triclosan in 60% of human milk samples. It's also been found in the umbilical cord of infants, like literally newborn infants. Right? This is how ubiquitous these chemicals are in our life, is that we are absorbing them through all of the products that we're using. And it's getting through, because they're lipophilic, they're fat loving, it's getting through to our newborn, to our babies, to our fetuses while they're in our body. So they're finding it in the umbilical cord of infants. And so they're bioaccumulative, which means they accumulate in fatty tissues. And they're very difficult to get rid of. And they are endocrine disrupting chemicals. So they basically stuff up our hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So triclosan has also been linked to liver and inhalation toxicity, low levels, and it only takes tiny, minuscule, like micro amounts to disrupt hormones. So low levels disrupt thyroid function, and it encourages bacterial resistance to antibiotics. The American Medical Association actually recommends that we don't use triclosan antibacterial products in the home. It's meant to be a hospital use only. Okay, but in the last decade, you're seeing triclosan in home use products, in domestic products. So this is really something that and those antibacterial hand washes, which everyone's gone nuts over for the last few years.
I'm just sitting here thinking about everybody and those antibacterial like gels that you put.
Yeah.
Because I see those things everywhere, and everybody will be like in and put that stuff on and out and put that stuff on. They got some in their handbag and they put stuff on.
Yeah.
Like, and they would probably see something that says hospital grade something and be like, that's the one I want. I want that one.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
So would you recommend you just don't get anything that's antibacterial?
Absolutely. Don't get anything that's antibacterial. In fact, it's been proven that soap, good old plain simple soap, does just as good a job at getting rid of bacteria than antibacterial products. So soap eliminates 99.99% of bacteria. Just washing your hand with plain old soap does just as good a job. So there's no need at all to be going nuts about these antibacterials. We don't need them in the home. And the other issue in terms of environmental toxicity is that wastewater treatment. So we worry about what we're putting on our skin, but we forget that everything that we're putting on our skin actually gets washed down the drain in our shower. And then that water goes to wastewater treatments. So the wastewater treatment actually cannot remove triclosan completely, which means it ends up in our lakes, in our rivers, in our water sources, where it actually, when it combines with UV, when it combines with sunlight, it forms dioxins, which are super extremely toxic. Dioxins are very carcinogenic. So yeah, it's not only ourselves that we need to be concerned about, but we're also destroying the environment by washing these toxic chemicals down the drain and into our waterways. Okay, we've got two more chemical classes that I want people to be aware of. Another one is fragrances. Okay. So, oh my God, this is a huge one. We could do a talk just on fragrances. But so basically the International Fragrance Association lists 3,059 materials that are reported as being used in fragrance compounds. Of those 3,059, some have evidence linking them to health effects, including cancer, reproductive toxicity, allergies, and sensitivities. And many fragrance materials actually cause sensitization, so skin rashes and allergies, respiratory issues, and respiratory irritation, and can also contain carcinogens, endocrine disruptors. So these are hormone disruptors, neurotoxic chemicals, so they affect the brain development, and environmental toxicants. So basically there's thousands. The term fragrance is basically a Trojan horse. So there's literally thousands of toxic chemicals that can be used under the umbrella term fragrance, and that is to protect. That's basically to protect the intellectual property of fragrance houses, of perfume houses. So we're talking about perfumes. We're talking about any cosmetics that lists fragrance on it. We're talking about those horrible toxic plugins. We're talking about those lovely, beautiful reed diffusers that you get from those stinky places in, all those lovely smelling places that you walk past in your shopping center. All of those products contain toxic chemicals that are known carcinogens, that are endocrine disruptors, that affect the brain development of children, and that are environmental toxins. So
just anything that says fragrance on a label just is a no-go.
Absolutely.
It'll say fragrance. Okay.
Yes. And that's an easy one. It'll just say fragrance. Yeah. And you don't have to, there are laws that protect the intellectual property of these chemical fragrance ingredients. So they don't, if they had to list every ingredient in a fragrance, it would literally be thousands of ingredients. So that's how come they are able to just say fragrance. And there are literally thousands of ingredients that can fall under that umbrella, many of them toxic, as I've mentioned. And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, we're looking at phthalates. That's PHTHALATS. It's pronounced, it looks like phthalates, but it's actually pronounced phthalates. And these are endocrine disruptors. They are developmental and reproductive toxins. So, if we're trying to get pregnant, we definitely want to be avoiding phthalates. And they're also cancer causes. They have been banned from cosmetics in the European Union, but still remain prevalent in Australian products. So there are two that are most widely used in personal care products. One is dibutyl phthalate, DBP, and that's used in nail polish and listed by the EU as an endocrine disrupting compound of high concern. So basically, so we want to look for phthalate-free nail polish if we're using nail polishes. If we're trying to get pregnant, don't use nail polish at all. This is just absolutely don't do it. So some companies and certainly in the last decade, they've phased dibutyl phthalate out of nail polishes, and you can find nail polishes that are phthalate free. And then we have the diethyl phthalates, which are used in scented products. So basically phthalates fall under that umbrella term of fragrance. So phthalates are one of the ingredients, or one of the 1,000 ingredients found in fragrances. So they're used in all kind of scented products to help the scent linger longer. So anything that you're, that you're using, the reed diffusers or the plugins, or anything that the household perfume sprays.
I'm thinking about, like, I can remember my little girl when she was small would have all the different, you would have them, I'm sure, Jess, because Jess has got a little girl, but like the textures and scented erasers.
All the scented markers and stuff.
That,
all of those, yep, all of them, they will 100%, they will be fragrances, and there will be phthalates in those. So yeah, but it's a loophole in federal law that allows the phthalates to be added to fragrances without disclosure to consumers. So the campaign for safe cosmetics in 2002, they did a report. They found phthalates listed as an ingredient in nail polish, but their report in 2002, it's called the Not Too Pretty report, detected phthalates in over 75% of products tested, and they were never listed. So they found phthalates in cosmetic products, in perfume products, in all the products that they tested. Nearly 75% of the products that they tested were contaminated with phthalates, and none of them had them listed on the label. So this is they're snuck in through this fragrance Trojan horse. So they're endocrine disruptors that harm the developing fetus and the male testes. Pregnant women exposures to phthalates has been associated with a shortened distance between the anus and the genitals of their male babies, indicating a feminization has occurred during the prenatal genital development. So what's going on now? Like, it's so, this is why I believe this is why we're having all of these gender issues, because of the toxic exposure to gender bending chemicals that are absolutely ubiquitous in our environment, in our skincare products, in our household perfumes, in our cleaning products, in our laundry detergents, in our washing products, where there are phthalates, which are gender bending chemicals and reproductive toxins that are causing damage to our unborn children. So yeah. And it also causes breast cancer. So yeah, dibutyl phthalate has been shown to cause the proliferation of breast tumor cells. Okay, one last chemical. Sorry, I said two, but it's three. So one more we want to avoid is phenoxyethanol. Okay, so this is an easy one because it's listed as phenoxyethanol on the label. It's used as a preservative in cosmetic products, and it's also used as a stabilizer in perfumes and soaps. So phenoxyethanol has been linked to reactions ranging from eczema to severe life-threatening allergic reactions. Eczema is also a common allergic reaction to skin exposure to products containing 1% or more phenoxyethanol, and reaction only occurs in the area of application, and the eczema subsides after the avoidance of the product, causing irritation. So it's really just, it causes skin irritation. So what happened in 2008 is that there was a nipple cream on the market that was preserved with phenoxyethanol, and it was depressing the central nervous system of the babies, because the mother was using it as a nipple cream and then breastfeeding, and it was depressing the central nervous system of the babies, and including a decrease in the infant's appetite and a difficulty in waking the infant, and a limpness of extremities and a change in skin color. So basically it was causing vomiting and diarrhea in these breastfeeding infants, and causing the babies to go limp. And the safety data sheet, the SDS for phenoxyethanol, also states that it's toxic to kidney and bladder, and causes reproductive disorders and serious damage to the eyes, and causes brain degeneration. So this is something, and a nice easy one, phenoxyethanol. It's used as a preservative, and yeah, it's an easy one to avoid. So wow. Where do you go? Where do you start? Yeah, where do you start? Okay, so there's a great website called the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics. It's called safecosmetics.org. So this is so they've done a lot of work campaigning for safe cosmetics. So there's a lot of information about toxins and what to avoid. So you can go there, the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics, their website. And then there's also the Environmental Working Group's Skin Deep Cosmetics database. So this is really, really cool. You can go to Skin Deep or just Google Skin Deep, and you go to basically it's a cosmetic database that you can plug in. So if you've got an ingredient that you don't know whether it's good or not, you can go to this Skin Deep database and put that ingredient in, and it'll tell you. There's a rating system from 0 to 10. 10 is red, bad, toxic, super bad. 0 to 3 is the green, so anything from 0 to 3 they're saying is okay. 4 to 6 is, definitely want to avoid, and 7 to 10 absolutely avoid. That's super toxic. So it's a really, really good resource for your listeners to go if because it is a bit overwhelming. Like, I've been doing this for nearly 3 decades, so I know what to look out for, and I know I've given a lot of information, and it's probably going to be overwhelming to try and remember it all. So also Bill Statham, an amazing man that I had the pleasure of meeting at the beginning of my entree into this industry. He's created the Chemical Maze. So it was originally a book.
I love that app.
Yes, and now it's an app. So
I have it on my phone. I carry it everywhere.
Awesome. Yep. So Chemical Maze, you've got the Skin Deep Cosmetics database, and you've got the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics. So that's a really a great, some good resources for your listeners to continue their evolution on discovering the nasty world of toxins in cosmetics and being empowered and how to avoid them. Yeah,
I think that's the thing. It's like, yes, it's overwhelming. Yes, it's scary, but it puts you back in the driver's seat. I think this is what a lot of our podcasts are literally about, is just putting people back in the driver's seat of being able to improve their lives in whatever little small or big sense it might be. I'm just thinking of the woman who's sitting there right now thinking, hang on a minute, I keep getting whatever it is, hormone issues, my baby keeps getting eczema, my child keeps getting whatever. Yeah, it could be the reed diffuser I've just bought, because I would be looking at laundry detergent, soaps. I wouldn't consider it's something in a fragrance or in the dishwashing soap that I'm using in my dishwasher, or you know what I mean? And so, like, for me, I get confused because I get migraines from cigarette smoke, but not cigarette smoke that people are smoking, only cigarette smoke that's on furniture or clothing. Wow, is an immediate migraine trigger for me. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, you can smoke next to me and I'll be fine, but if you have it on your clothes and you've been smoking on your car and you walk next to me in the grocery store, I literally carry, now I'm concerned, an essential oil in my bag that I put quickly under my nose, like somebody in a mortuary. Yeah, they're good. As long as and I carry it with me. But it makes sense. Like, there could be people out there struggling to fall pregnant, not knowing it's because they're going to get their nails done every 2 weeks at the nail bar. Yep. Mind blowing. Yes, empowering. It's good to have this knowledge, because then it puts, as you said, it puts you in control. But we need to be aware. And so, that's the issue, is just that awareness, having that awareness of what we are actually doing. What are we exposing ourselves to just in our daily, everyday lives? Like, there's been a study, I think women can use 27 products before they walk out their door.
Wow. I believe it. Yeah.
And there's, each product has maybe a dozen or 2 dozen ingredients. What is going on? What is the chemical cocktail we are exposing ourselves to every single day before we even walk out the door?
Yeah. I think that's what I probably have found the most overwhelming, that it's not like you just need to look for fragrances. It's like there's so many different things in all these different products. That's definitely, I think, what I find the most, like, I don't know. Yeah, overwhelming, but also
my
like
daughter, because
disgusting.
so my eldest daughter doesn't wear any makeup at all. I wear a little bit the same stuff, but generally a bit of a tomboy. But my 13-year-old is definitely influenced by what her friends are buying, what they're seeing on TikTok or whatever. And so yesterday we went to a big local shopping center, and she said, "Oh, Mom, please, can we go into this cosmetic store?" And so it's a very again, we're not saying names, but it's a very big, very fancy cosmetic store that carries lots and lots of different brands.
Yes.
I'm 49. I was totally overwhelmed. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, everyone's going crazy about this. Everyone's going crazy about that." And so she's showing me these brands. I've never seen some of them before. And a lot of the enthusiasm is literally about the packaging or the cool way that, you know, like one of them, you click the lid and it comes out in a little flower. Like a lot of these young women and young girls are not looking at all about what's in it.
Yes.
It's just about
cool it is.
that it's cool. I'm doing air quotes, or that everybody kind of has them. But there seems to be, and even some of them, I would think there must be some kind of, because I know generally in young people, I know with my daughter, she is quite aware of what she's eating, what's kind of healthy, drinking her water. Like she's very aware of that. And I think a lot of young women are very aware of that in that sense.
Yeah.
But so this is so easily influenced.
Yeah, this is the next step.
In the pretty pink whatever that smells like watermelon.
Yes.
And comes out like a little flower. And then they're just like, this is cool. I saw a lip gloss that was $108.
Oh, it's insane.
I almost fell. I'm like, what the actual hell? People buy that?
Let me tell you something. I knew a man who was involved in cosmetic industry who actually had access to a very big brand's product and got to see what was in that product and did a cost analysis of what was in that product. So this was a very, very famous, huge brand. It's a body cream, sells for $150 US, right? Have a guess how much, like, and of course they would have paid model $10,000 a day to advertise it. It was in a beautiful gold rimmed box, gorgeous packaging, all the bells and whistles, looked absolutely divine. How much do you think actually went into the ingredients? Just give me a number. How much do you think the raw materials cost for that $150 US product?
$3.
I want to say 25. Did you say down? I was going to say 25. Less than $3?
Yep. Keep going.
$1.
Less.
25 cents.
22 cents.
Holy ripoff.
Yep.
So all the money goes to marketing.
All of it goes to marketing.
Obviously profit. Profit's a large amount, but it all goes
there's
marketing.
All the money goes to someone's Maserati and it's not ours.
Yeah, they're trying to make it as cheap as possible and sell it for the most because they're paying good money to their models to promote it. And obviously, the ground floor of David Jones and Maya, that has the most expensive real estate in department stores. That's where all your cosmetics are. So they're the only ones that can afford that kind of real estate. So they have to make huge, huge margins. So the consideration for what actually goes in the product, which to my mind is like, oh my God, this is insane. Like when I was formulating my products, I purchased certified organic single origin rose essential oil from a family farm in Bulgaria. It's $35,000 a kilo, right? So when you're supporting brands that actually put a lot of love into the what is outside is not so special, but it's what is inside that really matters, because that's what ends up on our skin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when thinking about the young girls these days, I'm hoping it becomes a teachable moment to actually empower them to look beyond the marketing hype and to actually look at, okay, let's have a look at what is actually in this product. What's actually going to end up on your skin, on your lips, in your body. Yeah. Let's kind of separate let's look at how clever they've been to actually trying to convince you to buy their product. But let's look at what's in it. What is polyisobutene?
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Now, if people are looking for your products, My Essence, is it just like, where do they find you?
Find them online and in health food stores.
So it's MIESSENCE.
Yes.
.com.au.
It's actually the website is one.organic now. So it's because you can only certified organic products are allowed the organic .organic. You have to be certified organic to have the organic extension on a website. So it's been changed to, and one is the company name Organic and Natural Enterprises, which manufactures, which is the brand owner of My Essence.
Excellent. So, otherwise, your good health food store.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. I feel Jessica's like raring to go and search through her
I'm like about to rip apart. I have to go pick up my kids.
All kinds of bottles.
Pull everything out. Go through
exactly. Kids are gonna have to stay at school. I gotta go through some stuff.
She's got to go through all her cupboards. But I definitely think this is one of those episodes that people are going to listen to more than once and have to do it with a notepad and some paper. 100%. I think it's going to be so valuable to so many people. I was so grateful for your time, Narelle.
Oh, my pleasure.
We know you've come straight out of the lab and straight in here to join us, so we're so appreciative of that.
My pleasure. And just knowing that there are resources out there these days, like websites and apps that can help you on your search for safe and natural beauty products.
And go with the certified organic.
Yes, and that's another point. Yeah,
I like that one.
If you go for certified organic, you know that all the hard work's been done, and they've done all the culling. So there's only a very small amount of ingredients that are allowed to be used in organic products, and they're all, even the green chemistry ones, they're all clean and green. So and all of the other ingredients that I've talked about today, they're all prohibited. None of those are allowed in organic products. So that's a really simple way to not have to do all the hard work.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to start.
Yeah, it's a good way to start, just to go organic. Yeah.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
100%. Well, thank you so much, Narelle. And thank you, everybody who joined us today for this incredible episode. Wherever you are in the world, we hope you're having an absolutely incredible day. We can't wait to see you next time on The Transformation Project.
Thank you for listening in to this episode of The Transformation Project. The Transformation Project is not just a podcast, we're also a community. We're a collective of like-minded people all around the world seeking to live their best life and raise each other up. We're looking to support you, set goals, get healthier, connect with yourself and others at a deeper level, and better understand yourself and the world around you. We're always looking to link arms with like-minded people, wanting to create more out of life. You can connect with us via our website, which is www.thetransformationproject.net.au. Email us at support@thetransformationproject.net.au, or simply listen in to one of our podcast episodes, which can be found on all podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can even watch some of our episodes on our YouTube channel, simply called The Transformation Project. Please like and subscribe to make sure you hear all the incredible shows and guests we have lined up. If you have any feedback or any comment, we would love to hear those, as well as any ideas or guests that you think we should be interviewing in future. Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Transformation Project.